19%. Our analysis and recommendation are based on the three main pillars. First is a dynamic macro environment. Second is the strong competitive positioning. And third is the balanced financial performance. First, let me explain to you why would we recommend the Vietnam banking industry to you. Because in Vietnam, the banking industry is highly opportunistic and closely attached to the current economic cycle. And I must say that the current Vietnam economic environment is one of the most significant in the area. We are proven by the increase in GDP rates, and you can see that it outperforms other economies in the region. And again, combining with the peak in FDI inflows into Vietnam, I must emphasize here that the FDI in Vietnam peaked in the region in the last 30 years. This suggests a very good motivation for a sustainably optimistic outlook of Vietnam economy in the future. And in the banking industry, we're seeing two restructuring trends. First, it's retail as a focus of every commercial bank. We're proven by the increase in annual household debt to GDP ratio, which reflects an increase in capital demand for banking segment, for the retail banking segment. And then I must emphasize to you again here that for the first time in 2017, the household debt growth has exceeded the corporate debt growth, and this is a sign that the retail banking will be the next focus. Okay, the next trend that we like to tell you about here is in the context of managing commercial banks are now shifting their income structure toward non-interest activities to diversifying and reducing the risk from credit activities. And according to research, we found that there is a very big pie in the industry for everyone. But the question in here, there are currently 13 players on the field. So why do we think that ACB is the bank that we should recommend it? My friend will continue the story.
Thanks, Long. The most significant competitive advantage of ICB that we want to emphasize here is ICB customer base. ICB has the best customer base in the industry. This is proven by the outperforming penetration level of individual customers in terms of both quality and quantity. For the quantity, ICB has the outstanding amount of individual loans and deposits over its main competitor. And for the quality, the most ICB's customers are high-income segment, while the other banks aim for the mass market. And thanks to these two above aspects, we believe that ICB has enough capacity to capture the trend of digital banking and the bank assurance, as my friend has mentioned before. And not only that, ICB also has the best customer loyalty, thanks to focusing on customer services. And we also have found a survey of Vietnam report in 2017 that reflects ICB's position in customer mind. And now, my friend will tell you about how the ICB's competitive advantage is reflected by financial ratio.
Okay. For financial, ACB had the best balancing between profitability and safety in the banking industry, which other commercial banks failed to do so far. For profitability, we choose net interest margin or NIM to reflect ACB business efficiency. More specifically, NIM of ACB is maintained at an approximate level even when ACB have not aligned LDR and CASA condition like the main peers, and therefore NIM of ACB is expected to be rising in the upcoming periods by 4% thanks to the focusing retail banking and the improvement CASA ratio. And for safety, ACB had the lowest NPL in the industry, which mainly thanks to the rigorous process of lending and the retail banking nature. They could help ACB to reduce and diversify the risk. And now look at this. In lending structure, the red parts are the proportion of corporate customer, and you can see that ACB had the lowest corporate lending. And even though with the lowest NPL, ACB still make a provision with a higher rate than the value of that business. So thanks to the thanks to the rigor, so all the safety can prove the pro of ACB. The first, ACB is likely to be granted in the credit room that would thanks to the SPV orientation. And the second, ACB can reduce the cost of bad debt. So in here, we would like to reemphasize that the balance between profitability and safety in the banking industry with few banks say can do it at time. And so, my friend will tell you about valuation.
Yeah, because of the natures of banking industry, while the most assess a financial one, which is measure approximate the fair value. Because of this, we decided using two methods to evaluate stock, and the both will calculate based on the book value. The residual income and the price to book value multiple with the proportion 60-40. First, we use the residual income like the main method. This method is even more accurate for ACB, where the residual income is almost clean from bad debt, thanks to the natures of a retail bank. For this method, the three noticeable assumptions are sustainable NIM, sustainable NPL, and the prospect increasing fee income, as my friend have mentioned in the last section. Along with the book value by the end of 2018 at VND 17,000, we come up with a target price of VND 36,500. And then we use the price to book value method to reinforce the result. We also assume that the current period is the mid-cycle in banking industry, so this method is suitable. We select 4 banks as ACB main peer, and they are currently focusing on the retail customer, and do the calculation at average price to book value at 2.2 times. We must know that this rate is much higher relatively in the regional average, but I think it's still fair thanks to the given prospects in the banking industry in the coming time. So with this method, our target price at VND 37,400. But so we recommend you buy the stock with an upside 90%. But everyone knows no investment has no risk, right? So ACB is no exception. Now my friend will tell you about the risk, and I think you should notice that when investing in ACB.
Yeah, there are two main risks that you have to take into account when invest in the banking stock. This is the macroeconomic fluctuation and the real estate market bubble. The first one that with the real estate market bubble, if it explodes, it also affects ACB because ACB, as you can see in this chart, ACB has the list of portions real estate, so if the bubble explodes, it affects ACB very list. And now we will still the valuation.
Thank you. That we've just come through the risk that you need to pay attention to. And again, in summary, I would like to issue a buy recommendation of ACB shares with a target price of BND 36,900, offering an upside of 19%. In overall, we're seeing the macro environment as the first and most significant condition for you to invest in ACB now. Combining with ACB's strong competitive positioning and the financial performance that is the most balanced in the industry right now, we're seeing a great potential. And one more thing, in the long run, ACB prudent orientation is...
Thank you, Team 2, for your presentation. Your 10 minutes has run out. Judges, you have 10 minutes for the Q&A.